Hi there. Now, F117 Stealth Fighter. It's a 144th scale. I've got quite a few of these to do. It's for a project that I was going to do, but never actually got off the ground. It will be done. It will be done. But the mechanics of the display need to be worked out. All the other little details on it need to be worked out. It's not going to be a short-term project. It might take me over a year to build. So, in the meantime, I can get on and build some of the aircraft that I'll need for it. And this is one of them. Now, for review, a Revell 144th scale stealth fighter. And, yes, I have opened it already. There. And we get a whole bunch of stuff in here. Ooh, decals. Let's have a look. Oh, they're quite nice, they are. There's a fair few decals on here. If I put it up to the camera now, you can see that. There's quite a few decals there. So, have fun putting those ones on. It's in black plastic. Alright, instruction sheet. Oh, there's a great load of paints for it. What we got here? We got 7 build and 1 decal and paint scheme on here. Not a lot to do, but that's what I wanted. I wanted something very simple and easy and quick to do. Packet. I haven't opened yet. The canopy looks okay, although it's actually not in a separate bag. It's loose in here, but the canopy's fitting towards the polythene side rather than the plastic side. We get 3 screws in here. Canopy. A little bit of magnification on the canopy, so that might mean when you look through the canopy, you'll see everything inside the cockpit. We'll have to wait and see about that. But nice little canopy. I don't know, under this light it looks like it's a little tinted as well. Oh well, I'll put that to one side. Let's have a look at the main body of the aircraft. Loads of pin marks on the inside. Well, you won't see those anyway. Outside, I've got a couple of scruff marks on the outside here where I think that canopy was rubbing around in there. Oh, I'm just having a look at that. There's detail actually moulded onto the cockpit tub. Very interesting. And there's quite a bit of detail on the seats as well. On the sides, a lot of detail actually. The dash panel, which you've got a decal for as well, has got all raised detail on it. All the gauges and switches on it. Well, I don't know whether they're all on there. Looks like they've had a good go at it. All in all, pin marks are yeah, pin marks are all out of the way where you won't see them. So that's good. On that sprue anyway. And the next sprue's got the wings on. They're solid wings. I'm going to have to check these out. I'm going to have to give these a primer coat first. They look like there might be some sinkage around the there might be some sinkage on these ones around here because they're solid wings. I'm going to have to put some primer on that to have a look at them to see what there is there. There's a bit of a lump on the tail fin just there. I don't know whether that's mould might have got damaged and they've taken it. There's definitely sink marks in these wings on the other side, so they're going to have to be filled. But there's not much detail on the wings itself. You've got the ailerons and elevator on there. They're all recessed panel lines as well, so that's nice. good detail on the wheels. All the stuff seems to be very, very thin, but I still think it's too thick to be an accurate scale model, but close enough for a plastic static model, I think. If you have them really thin, they'll probably break. Anyway, that looks pretty good apart from the sink marks. Again, no pin marks anywhere where it would be noticed, which is good. Oh, there's some splatter marks on there from other plastic, I think. I don't know. Pin marks are inside the joints here. So I can see no other pin marks apart from them being actually on the tree itself. Like here, the pieces, where the pieces join the tree. Here, you've got the pour tube coming into them, and the pin marks are on those, not on the parts, which is very nice. I think they're learning. I think they're learning quite a bit. So, on with the build. First thing, before we start building, I'm going to put the canopy into the plastic container, into the plastic bag, to keep it separate from all the rest of the parts. Now that can go back in there because I won't want that just yet. The decals can go back in its box as well. Right, on with the build. First part is the cockpit. Right, as you can see, I put some grey paint on these, some primer, and to check them out. There seems to be a small divot just in there. I'm letting it finish drying. There are definitely two divots, one here, and another two here and here on the wing. They're going to have to be filled. But apart from that, everything else that I was a bit concerned about was okay. I painted the joystick while I had the paint. I've also done the cockpit tub, which I was surprised with. It's light grey. I'm going to have to sort the rest of that out. What I did was I sprayed the whole inside, top and bottom, grey. I didn't need to, but I thought I'd best anyway. The inside of the air intakes are grey. Surprisingly enough, grey on the outside as well. Although I think I'm going to have to get the black banding on it. I've also sprayed the chair up. The sides are matte black. The chairs are matte black. The sides are this side, and the chair is grey. On this side, the sides are grey. With a black back, with a grey back on the seat. Also, I've given a grey coat to the dashboard as well. I'm going to let these dry and get on with some more in a bit. I'm just going to have a cup of coffee and I'll be back shortly. Right, before I went to bed last night, I actually put the decals on the cockpit, as you can see here. Both sides and the front cockpit are in the decal side. I also filled the wings up, the joints, and there was a little bit of depression here, and the two depressions on each wing, here and here. I'll just hand these off. Now, the depressions have been filled. I might have to put a little bit more in them. I won't know until I put some primer over it. The underneath has come up pretty clean. There's a little depression here, and there's quite a big one all the way along here. Again, until I put some primer over this, I won't know. So I'm going to do that next. Right, as you can see here, I'll put the base in now. I haven't glued it in yet. I've just placed it in it, but there's quite a bit of a gap all the way around this one. So I'm going to have to fill that with a liquid putty before I do any more to this section here. Well, I could sand the whole thing off nice and even. By the way, I'm using the Badger primer on this one. Hi there, back again. Okay, now I'm going to coat with primer. I've had a look over, but there is a couple of little depressions still. One in this side here, and one in this side here. Needs a little bit more filler. I was having a look at the aircraft that I'm actually building. In the instructions they say paint the chair grey, but the aircraft that I'm doing has actually got a green cushion on the seat, so I've put that on there. That's all ready to be fitted in. Right, it's been a little bit of time now. I'll let these dry, and I've sanded these off now. There should be no problem with these. I also decided at the time to put the base on, which I have done now. I've glued this in. I don't really need to get into anything in here, so what I've also done then is I filled it with glue. Still needed some filler, so I put a bead of filler all the way around the edge, and some on the wings here, as you can see, down the other side where I had quite some bad dents in it, or depressions I should say. And I put a bead around the outside and sanded that all down. I'm going to give it a coat of I'm going to give it an undercoat now and see how I've done. I've done the tubes, the pitot tubes on the front. I'll put the fins on. That's all the outside pieces done now, except for the bottom part where I've got to put the undercarriage doors on and the Bombay door. But I've got to drill this out for a tube to go in here for the stand. So that'll do after I've done the black on the top, I think. I'm not sure. As you can see, I've applied the doors now, and they're glued on and dried, and I give them a bit of a sand just to clean up the edges. On the reverse side, on the top side in other words, I've done the black. Now I've done this with F1 flat back, thinned for spraying using Future or Johnson's floor wax, wherever you come from in the world. And again, it's come out lovely. I've got that nice smooth finish on it. There's a little bit of a shine to it between matte and semi-gloss. It's not semi-gloss and it's not matte, so I think it's just perfect for these models, and I'm going to keep doing that trick. And it also acts like a flow improver, which settles down the paint a lot better as well. Next piece I've got to do, I've got to paint the bottom, but first I'm going to drill a hole in here for a brass tube for the mount for it.